Harold, listen. There's a reason I called you into my office today.
What is it?
It's just you suck at your job.
I do?
Yeah, you're gonna get fired.
But
Everybody hates you.
but I did all the work you asked me to.
No, you didn't. You didn't fill out any.
Well, I filled out the inexpense reports.
Harold,
But what about the expensive reports?
Harold, I don't even know. The first you're annoying. You don't know what the heck an expense report is. That's a big
Doesn't
problem.
have to do with what's expensive and what's not.
I can't believe we hired you as an accountant.
But I'm qualified.
How are you qualified?
I did Khan Academy for 2 years.
See, Harold, normally I'll work on it. The thing is, I hate your voice so
Why?
much. Listen, Harold, you're fired. Take your stuff. Take whatever. Take whatever fucking.
I thought you invited me to the Christmas party on purpose.
Take whatever.
That's not sausage links. I just don't shower. But the HR guy said that you'd accept me. McDonald's doesn't want me. This is the only place I've ever gotten a job.
Well, Harold, you really need to clean up your act. And also,
I did.
Your body.
I wash my book of axe every day. And I polish my axe every day at my desk.
When you're polishing your axe, you can't really work.
Yeah. Yes.
Harold, you're not getting any stuff.
But you fired. No. No.
Sorry, Harold.
The security. No.
Take him away.
No. Hi, guys. Welcome back to This Is Not a Funny Podcast.
Because it's not.
It's just not.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. I don't really know what else to say. It's just not funny. That was... Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
It's just your two boys. Just the two boys. Jesse, if you're listening. Because I know you listen to this. We're by ourselves again.
Stupid feeder.
Yeah, who just can't come to any recording sessions. It's been 3 weeks. So, here we are. Yep, at the table. I think we already said that. So, how have you been, Gabriel, so far?
I've been okay.
You know?
Just a little depressed.
As we all are.
You know, you go on something and you just realize how pointless all of your efforts are.
This is an uplifting way to start a podcast.
Yeah.
Man. Have you noticed what I'm wearing right now?
Red shirt.
I'm wearing a red shirt, but I have sweatpants on because my mom was unable to wash all my jeans. Well, no, she did wash. In fact, she did. I had no jeans in my closet, all right?
Yeah.
And it's cold, okay?
It's not cold.
And then I walk into the laundry room because what do you do if you don't have a clean pair of jeans? You grab a dirty pair of jeans from the laundry bin.
Yeah, from the dirty bin.
Yeah, and then you put those on, and no one even knows. But there weren't any because you put them in the washer.
Wow.
So I had to go rake leaves in sweatpants. What was I not doing, Gabriel?
Sweating.
I wasn't. It wasn't because it's dang cold.
So you weren't sweating?
No. Yeah, my great aunt because I do my great aunt's lawn. She has this like leaf vacuum thing. Usually it's a leaf blower, so you like blow it. But this time it's a
Suck 'em up.
vacuum, so it just sucks up the leaves from the ground
Yeah.
and just like shreds them and makes it so much easier. But the problem is it fills up really fast. So I have to keep stopping and taking it and running to the back and dumping the leaves and then back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Yeah,
Yeah.
it sucks. Anyway, so if you don't remember from the last 2 episodes, the way we do this podcast is each of us bring a topic to the table and we talk about the topic. We see where it goes. We make funny jokes. We just laugh. We're just here. We're two boys. We're talking. Um, and that's what we're doing. So, do you want to go first to the topic, or should I go first to the topic? All right. Okay. All right. So let's start with our deep thought. I'll pull up this. So I'm thinking potentially for this podcast, one of the topics that we could do is we could do a Q&A because we're starting to get a little desperate, if you know what I mean. So I'm thinking that we're gonna potentially start like like a good an email account or a Twitter, some sort of way for you as listeners to give us questions that we will select and bring onto the podcast and answer. And maybe that will devolve into bits and stories and um, fun, very fun. So to start off our podcast, we already did the bit. We already talked about all this stuff. So I came up with another game. It's it's game time. And this one, we're not reading things off the internet, reacting to them. We're making something up on the spot. Yes, Gabriel, yes. We're gonna make something up on the spot. I'm gonna call it the story game. I have creative game titles. The story game. I did. Okay. All right. My feelings are genuinely hurt, and I need you to apologize right now. Why? Why? Okay. Do you want to hear? Do you want to hear about the story game or not?
Yes.
Yes. All right. Fine. So we're gonna go back and forth, and each of us are gonna do 5 sentences. Okay. We each say a sentence, and we have to continue that sentence, and we'll see where our story leads. All right. So do you want me to start? Or do you want to start? Billy was walking home from school one day.
He saw an object on the ground.
He decided to pick up the object,
He looked at the object.
and then he realized what it was.
A petrified peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
At that point, Billy was very scared.
Yes, because the sandwich started speaking demons.
Then Billy looked forward and saw the open-ended backpack of the boy walking in front of him. It was his neighbor, Thomas.
Inside the backpack was a portal.
And that portal was inside the notebook.
The sandwich urged Billy to go into the
But Billy said, "No, stop it."
portal. So
That's what the sandwich said.
the sandwich burst into song.
Singing old Disney songs in a very low pitch.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what it did.
that's what it did. All right. That's why this is such a good story. Let's continue. What happens next, Gabriel? What?
The peanut butter jelly initiates mega
Oh no.
mode. Mega mode activated.
At that point, the peanut butter and jelly sandwich swelled and lost it, and its jelly inside the sandwich turned to ham and cheese.
Cam,
Why'd you say Cam? Cam! Cam! I eat a peanut butter and ham and cheese sandwich. No jelly. Ham and cheese with peanut butter. So I put peanut butter on the bread, and then ham on both sides, and then cheese in the middle, and I eat it. And I eat 2 of those every day. No, not almost every day. Every school day. And no one understands it but me. There's probably one of you out there who actually does get it. But continuing the story, Gabe, it's your turn. Yeah, it swelled. And Billy became one with the sandwich.
Later, the knock on the door.
It was the mayor, surrounded by the cops.
We heard your son hadn't come home. We're wondering if there's something going on with that. We're initiating a search party here.
Billy's mom looked at the mayor and said, "This is Chicago. Why the heck are you talking just about my Billy surrounded by these police? You don't even know he was missing. Were you watching my son?"
Yeah. He was a suspect.
Oh. Okay, go ahead. Search however you want. The cops look up at that sandwich and take their grappling hook ropes and begin throwing it over the sandwich, trying to tie it down, but the sandwich is too strong.
Suddenly, the sandwich grows a face. It's Billy's face. And
I'm in so much pain!
Billy's tongue shifts, and he says,
At that point, the cops flee for their lives, and it's just the mayor who had joined along for the fun, looking up at the massive sandwich in terror.
please, please, my house. No, I can't die like this.
The sandwich swelled further, continuing to speak. I can't do the voice. Think of something. Think. Teenagers.
The sandwich said, "You dare bargain with me. Bargaining is useless."
At that point, the sandwich walked towards Chicago slowly, and days later, the city of Chicago was now a massive, demonic peanut butter and jelly sandwich, laughing maniacally while the Air Force and maybe the military came. You just nuked it. But that made the sandwich strong. Well, that was fun. Wow, doing fantastic, and we're at a time code of 14 minutes. Wow, 14 minutes half an hour. It gets easier every time. So, I got a topic. Gabe, Gabe, this is a podcast. Gabe, we're supposed to be engaged. Gabe, this is what Screenagers was talking about. If you don't know what Screenagers is an extremely bad, biased documentary against technology.
Technology is bad. It made my fun gay.
It made my fun gay. That me and Gabriel had to watch in middle school.
Yes, it was terrifying. Horrifying, not good, bad, very, very awful. Also, they showed pictures
That part was good though.
They had like I don't remember. It was like body images. It flashed like a magazine cover. I was like, hell yeah. I like that thing stuff. And
That's
back to, normal parents saying, my phone is good. Hey, iPhone. He's also the best.
we know because of school though. But for a split second there, Gabe was happy.
Yeah.
All right. So my I'm gonna start at the top. I'm gonna start at the beginning here. Okay. My summer. I spent my summer uh doing a lot of things by myself. I think it was my first I shouldn't say first. It was the summer that I felt most comfortable here in Minnesota because I had moved here a couple years ago. So I was going around. I was going around the town on my bike. Right. I had gotten a gym membership and I was biking to the community center in our city and was exercising there and biking there and back. And um, the thing that I like to do at those places and the thing that was really, really, really fun for me was I like to listen to podcasts. Biking, yes. Gabe just dropped a piece of a graham cracker on the floor after trying repeatedly to toss it into his mouth. These are the moments that I regret that we don't have like a tripod and camera too. Yeah. Yeah, I have my brother has a tripod. I can use it, and don't have a video camera. It's just like a picture camera, but it can take video. But I don't know if we'll do that. Maybe we'll do that for something. We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, back to my story. So I would bike to the gym, and I would exercise at the gym, and I would do all these things listening to podcasts because those are fun. And it was that element in doing this every single day except Sunday for 2 whole months just makes you like really acquainted with some of these groups and some of these like characters that you're having on these podcasts. These more like comedic stories. These, they're telling stories, making jokes. They're just they're laughing, having a little fun, and you get to know them, and you start to like see them in your mind as friends who are technically friends with,
Not really.
but not really exactly. And I remember I had realized this stuff fully when my MP3 player had broke because I used that to listen to music. So I had to get a new one that summer, and there was like a couple of days there where I didn't have any music or podcast whatsoever. So I began to like realize how much that had like impacted me and how much these groups and some of these ideas had grown on me. Just talking about opinions and things and so in a certain sense keeping up with current events.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me personally, some of them that had a big influence on the way I saw the world and the way that um, I saw things, I guess you could say, or how it impacted my future. Some of those really important ones for me were Ear Biscuits, which is a really good one by Rhett and Link, and The Valley Cast, and a couple of others. I think the old SourceFed podcast. Um, just some really fun ones. So my topic was, what are some groups or content creators on the internet, because that's where we get our content, that have been influential in your life or in the way that you see things, whether recently or in the past.
Bob Ross pretty much gave me some good advice. Um, uh, I don't know. It's like when I watch content creators, I usually just watch to enjoy their content, but really, it's gotta be something really moving that's gonna impact my life.
Well, I think impacting life is probably not a good way to phrase it.
Or like
more like like personalities that you end up enjoying.
I don't know, like John from
Mhm. Do
um,
do
shit,
do 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 do.
Jackson.
It's taking you a little while.
Yeah, sorry. Ready.
Well,
Yeah,
you didn't know
sorry.
this is why we're each bringing topics to this. You know, it's a little more variety.
So now, also thinking you got one dude who does he's like gameplay, but it's not
Mhm.
Markiplier as gameplay in a corner over barely cut thing. It's like cut up. He has voiceovers. He talks about what he does. He has fun. It's real. They're pretty well done.
Yeah, I think the element of escapism is really important.
I would say one of my favorite podcasts recently doesn't really have a lot to do with this, but definitely called Swindle. So it's pretty much just a dude who's got a sort of monotone voice. I like it, and he talks about stuff that people have done that was not really kind of them. Like, you know, have you ever looked up the
Billy tripped grandma again.
Have you ever looked up the McDonald's
No, I haven't. I'm looking up right now.
very misunderstood lawsuit? A lot of people are like, oh, this person's still talking on the oh, now we want $1 billion. Well, here's the thing. None of it's real because the media and you know maniacal
So, from my single website of research, the McDonald's hot coffee lawsuit. In 1992, 79-year-old Stella Liebeck, thank you, bought a cup of takeout coffee at McDonald's drive-thru in Albuquerque and spilled it on her lap. She sued McDonald's, and a jury awarded her nearly $3 million in punitive damages for the burns she suffered.
Yeah, first, he didn't get
Mhm. They settled for
I'm pretty sure
20,000. Was it 20? I think 800.
I remember like they settled, and also I don't think she got her own damages. And that doesn't nearly enough context. So what happened is she was sitting in some car. There were a couple of she's got chocolate. She's trying to put sugar in it. It's supposed to be. Now this coffee was in about 109 degrees. Came out 3-degree burns very, very quick. And she was wearing like sweatpants, so it had coffee. The coffee had very good contact for her skin for a very long time. Mostly over this region right here.
You're gonna have to say it because it's an audio podcast.
Like the thighs, the groin, an
My ass. I don't even know how you spill coffee on your ass by accident. It spreads. Yes. If you are under 13, tune out now. If you are any of our parents, please go.
Go away. So you can understand how she would be very angry after that happened. But she didn't really want to sue McDonald's. She just wanted to help her pay some very expensive medical bills. Very, very expensive. Here's like $800 instead of, because they're like tens of thousands of dollars in bills. And what was I going to say? Plus, we had no other option than to sue. And McDonald's was like, I mean, our coffee only burns like a few people, and it's cheaper to actually just pay to settle in court those cases than to make it our coffee less hot for the team. We have to spend more money on coffee. You can understand how it's like, well, you're not trying to keep working because you're thinking people's lives matter, but you're taking people's lives, shoving that aside, and just money. Ronald McDonald's there sitting with his cash is like, let him burn.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I want to kind
Yeah, that's a good tenure, good comment, good content. And that brings us to our deep thoughts segment. I'm thinking this is a new segment we're going to do on this podcast where I read out a couple of deep thoughts from reddit.com r/shower and we are going to react to them and talk about them because it's fun. All right. Here's first one here. Characters in a movie and TV never have to wait in line at the coffee shop unless it's important to the plot. Like the only time I've seen someone wait in line at the coffee shop is in Despicable Me. Freeze. It's perfectly normal to walk around with a mutated version of a wolf on a leash. I forgot that dogs selectively bred. Rap music glamorizes being rich, while country music glamorizes being poor. Yeah. Well, I mean, I can see how rap music glamorizes being rich and ducks. Some ducks. Acting is the only time it's socially acceptable in a first world country for a child to hold a job. If people didn't invent clothes, we could care about our fitness much more. Randomly hearing your favorite song on the radio is much more satisfying than selecting it yourself. Less relevant ads are more interesting than more relevant ads. You realize that though? Yeah. Sometimes. When you buy pizza from a place that sells it by a slice, you're essentially having a pizza party with a bunch of strangers that day. Because I mean, that's how it worked in middle school. It's wild that when you have two different dreams in one night, your brain has created a world, decided it was done, and rebooted the dream to make a new one. When machines take over, the first thing we'll have to answer is for Tamagotchis. If you don't know what a Tamagotchi is, Tamagotchi? Yes, Tamagotchi, not Gochi. Gotchi. Tamagotchi. A Tamagotchi is a little Japanese robot toy that's basically a pet, and you have to like feed it and care for it just like a pet. And they can also die because you have to take care of them like a pet, but they're like robots. Gabe slapping his bare arm. Alrighty-o. That's what it is. And they are notorious for dying. Yes. Oh man, well that's the deep thoughts segment. That was interesting. I think my biggest takeaway is Despicable Me though. Yeah. That's the only time I've seen someone wait in line at a coffee shop. Ever. I have never seen Friends. And that's when everyone listening freaks out. I don't like Friends. You don't like Friends? You'd rather have enemies? Just like Cyrano de Bergerac. Cyrano de Bergerac reference. If you haven't read it, and read it, and then laugh along with us. All right, well, I got another topic because Jesse, our baby boy who's not here right now, short little ginger glassed boy who's going to yell at me after I've said these things when he listens back to this. Since he's not here, he told me since episode 0.1, which is not the Christmas episode, it's supposed to be the Halloween episode because it was closest to Halloween when we recorded that. Well, I recorded that. I was by myself, and it was very sad. I didn't talk very much about Halloween. Yeah, we didn't. Right? We didn't. So I got a topic for us involving Halloween, and I was listening to a podcast this morning, actually, where they were talking about terrifying experiences. Well, multiple podcasts that have talked about that recently. So my second topic, because Gabe wants to save his topic for a little later in the podcast, is what are the most terrifying / scariest things that have ever happened to us?
Literally just watching gameplay.
Tell me about it, Gabriel.
I don't. I think I like Kojima. Kojima's a fucking lad. He's an epic gamer. He's such a great video game maker. I love Metal Gear Solid. The problem with Death Stranding is very beautiful. It's just a game I would never play because I don't like games that
Yeah.
scare you or are meant to creep you out. I don't want to feel that.
I don't want to feel that. Resident Evil is not for Gabe.
Yeah.
I was obsessed with Resident Evil for the longest time.
I like Terraria better. I like TF2 better.
When I say I'm obsessed with Resident Evil, I did not mean that I played the game. I love the wikis. Let's get that clear right now. I am not a gamer.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah, and that's when my left leg smashed into Caleb's nuts.
Which is why I'm in a lot of pain right now. Thanks for that, Gabe.
You're welcome.
Scariest things that have ever happened to us. I don't know if the thing that happened to me is necessarily like frightening. I think it's just more that I was terrified. I don't think it was a terrifying experience. I think I was just terrified. Well, I got a couple of stories. Maybe I'll share all of them. But I think the most recent one was actually a couple days ago from the time of recording. I had decided, you know what? I'm going to watch some animated horror stories on the internet. You just look at those hour-long compilations of just like animated. I mean, the stories are actually pretty terrifying. I'm gonna be honest with you. The animation is, the drawing is pretty great, and seeing the actual image is kind of freaky as well. But they had gotten me good, and I was getting really into them, and I had seen like 12-hour-long compilations of them. So many that I'd start to see like repeats. So I'd watched a ton. I mean, they're like stories like about break-ins or like supernatural-ish stories that people have. You're not it. Okay, I think Gabe may have to go and sharpen his pencil, and I'll be here by myself again.
If I can find one, I'm gonna go like real quick.
Okay, well then I'll tell my story. Okay, Gabriel has officially left the conference room. Yep. I'm by myself again, guys. Welcome back to episode 0.1. I'm your host, Caleb, and I'm going to tell you the time I was most terrified. Okay, there's no pencil sharpener. All right then. So, I was downstairs, and some of the lights are on, some of the lights are off, so the room has more of like a more somber, like evening mood. That sort of lighting. And I was like in my room, and I was supposed to be doing homework, but I was watching these compilations. And my mom had me take out the garbage, so I had to go downstairs and grab all the garbage from all the places that have garbage, like the bathroom and the laundry room, any room that actually had garbage. So she had me grab those and group them together. And I was in the laundry room at the time, and our laundry room isn't finished. So there's like the floor is concrete. There you can see all of the heating, the ductwork, and there's no like roof, there's no like ceiling. So there's just like the wood beams across the ceiling and like the flat plywood where the wood upstairs is. So it's like really thin. And I was in there and I was taking out the garbage, and I hear like a scritching sound, like a like like one of those like scraping sounds that you hear, like maybe like something like sharp dragging along. And I'm by myself in this room, and I hear that sound, and it's decently loud. So it's not something that I think I could imagine just a guy outside of our room. Oh, terrifying. Okay, he left. Is that a picture of me? Yes.
That's not you.
Jesse will get that picture and put it up on the YouTube.
No, he won't.
Yes, he will.
He will not get that.
Anyway, so I'm in this room and I hear that scritching sound, and I have the garbage out, and I want to leave, but I'm also a little scared because I've been watching these videos, like home break-ins and stuff. So I'm like, wait, is there something? And the room is like full of like duct work and the heating system and ventilation systems. So there's plenty of places where someone could hide. So I'm starting to freak out a little bit, to be completely honest, because I hear it again, and it seems like it's coming from like up and towards like the right of the room, and I'm in the one of the corners, so I'm farthest away from the door right now, and it's coming from like right beside the door, sort of around that area. It seems like it's moving around the room. So I'm terrified. All right, I'm absolutely terrified. I'm terrified to move, and I'm holding onto the garbage like it's a weapon. I am. Gabe flexes. So I go, hello, because that's what you do in that situation. You greet the person, and I'm like scanning the room, like eyes darting around quickly, and I hear the sound again, and it like keeps going. I'm like, what could that be? What could that possibly be? No, the laundry machine was off. The laundry machine was not, because there was no lights on the laundry machine. Because that's how you know it's on. Lights are an illusion. Lights are a spectrum. Yeah. Yeah. Lights are fake. Fake news. But anyway, so I'm in this room. The screeching noises keep happening. And there's part of my brain that goes, I could be in danger. And then the next part of my brain goes, it's probably something really dumb. Turns out, it is something really dumb. I finally get the courage to leave the room, and I'm like looking in all the nooks and crannies because then I don't see anything. And I go up the stairs. I find my little brother just like taking a little like Hot Wheels car with one of those like wheels that screech across the vinyl flooring of the kitchen, and just like and making the screeching sound going around. I'm like, I heard a screeching sound downstairs. Was that Joel? Who is my brother? And my mom went, yes, it probably was, because he's been driving his car around the kitchen, which is above the laundry room. So I was hearing the sound of my little brother driving a car across the kitchen floor, and I was terrified of a sound that was happening from the upstairs since the floor is so thin. Man, that freaked me out though. I have another story too. I got a lot of stories, man. Yeah, you don't have very many. You just don't. Yes. Well, this time I was home. It was in 6th grade, right? And I lived in Georgia in 6th grade, so our Georgia house was pretty big, decently big. It wasn't like mansion sized. It was 2 stories. I think there's a ground level story where you'd walk in. That was where the front door was. There was an upper story and then a basement. And the basement was pretty big, and there's like 3 rooms and a bathroom. No, 2 rooms, a bathroom in the downstairs, and then 1 room, the kitchen and the living room, and an extra little like office space and a sunroom, the dining room upstairs. And then there was a weird like stairwell that went down from the master bedroom towards the floor where you'd see like the front door, and there my little sister's room was in that little corner. My room's downstairs, and I was home, and I was doing homework, and I was in the room we called the Lego room because it was just all Legos. All Legos. No. Yeah, the entire room. There's like a
Built out of Legos.
built entirely out of Legos. The door's made out of Legos. The floor's made out of Legos. It hurt to walk on, but it was fine because it was Legos. Not really. It just had a Lego table and covered. I have a lot of stories from the Georgia house, but we'll get to those later. So I was by myself at home, and I didn't have a phone then, so we just had the home phones. So I had to pick it up from like the stand and like press the buttons. I had to actually remember my mom's phone number and call my mom. So I was by myself doing homework, and then I heard like it sounded like footsteps. It was more like a, and then it stopped. And it sounded like it was coming from upstairs.
Mhm.
More footsteps. And this would happen every so often. And it would either be faster or quieter, and it was a little variable, which terrified me. So I didn't know what was happening. So I looked up. I looked past the stairwell to look upstairs. I looked up the stairs. I didn't see anything. Didn't see anyone. So I went upstairs and started looking around, and I just kept hearing footsteps all over the house. Like it mostly came from the upstairs, and since like the house was more like was a literal maze, since there was all these like walls like parting different parts of the room, it wasn't super open. Just and then you got that weird stairwell that was hidden behind a wall. So if someone walked down that way, they could get down the stairs without anyone seeing them. Just so many stepping sounds. And I'm at a certain point, I'm scared because I think he's eluding me or waiting, and then I just don't hear it for a little while. I think that was the most terrifying bit. I didn't hear it for a little while. I kept hearing these footsteps. So I grabbed the phone, called my mom, and went, "Mom, I'm hearing something like footsteps around the house." And she went, "There's footsteps around the house? I don't. Is it a neighbor? Is it a neighbor? Is there something going on outside?" And so I look out the window with the phone in hand, calling my mom, and my neighbor, who is just a couple years younger than me, was dribbling a basketball on his driveway, and the vibrations made it to the basement. So I would hear the sound of the basketball whenever he would dribble it, and it sounded like footsteps coming from the upstairs because it would shake the basement ever so slightly. I think that was the scariest thing that's ever happened to me, though. Just that, maybe. Mhm. Gabe, have you ever had anything like remotely scary? But you can remember when you were 11. Everything's blank past 10. So you only remember 4 years of your life. Gabe only remembers 4 years. It's official. What other topics that I got? So let's see. We did terrifying experiences. Let's see what the time code is. How much time we got? Oh, 45 minutes. This is good. Listening to us talk. Wow, that's crazy. It's been 45 freaking minutes. Yeah. So I thought I have another one here, another topic. Discuss guests for this show. Maybe how it would work. Because I know that some people have asked, and Jesse's not here, and I have a feeling that Jesse won't be here very often in the future. And if you're enjoying just me and Gabe, maybe we won't do guests. But we can arrange something if you know what I mean. Cyrano reference. I need to have a button that just says serial reference that I can tap. Yeah. It just says serial reference. But yeah, so I'm thinking that maybe if we gonna have guest caller for one of our topics, one of our segments where we would like call somebody, we have my laptop and we have Discord. So we could do something with that, but that's for people who are interested. Maybe. Hey, first off here, if you want to be a guest here, we gotta know you. We gotta know you. So one guy from Australia who heard this and didn't listen ever again, potentially. Not you, because we don't know you. You can reach out to us, but we don't know you. So yeah, that's how I think it'll work. So we'll set things up beforehand and then call during, and so you'd see like it'd be a little weird because we'd have a strange voice that turns on. Yeah. That's I think how guests would work. And we're at 46 minutes, and I got some more big topics that we can do later for another episode. But yeah, Gabriel, we didn't go to your topic. We have plenty of time for your topic. All right. I am not a game. Oh. Never drink once. I have my hands up, Gabriel. And all our female listeners just left. Anyone who wanted anyone playing this on a Bluetooth speaker while showering has turned it off. Grandmas have shut it down. Never. Mm-hmm. What do you mean by unfinished? Right? That's not good. Wow. Yeah, I know I saw. Yeah, I know I saw ads for No Man's Sky. It looked pretty good to me. It's pretty fun. Yeah. When you go from on the planet in space, right through. Wow, that's fantastic. So yeah, it is what I thought it would be, because I thought if I was ever gonna start playing a game like that, that would be the game that I'd start with. It's just very empty and like most mechanics are very nice. So it's not as good as it should be. Okay. Well, I get what you're saying with unfinished games. What they did is they're gonna release it next Now, if they weren't planning on releasing it this much, I think they said this year. I'm thinking that's good. I like that because you can tell that they're probably taking the time to make it finished. Donkey, a very popular YouTuber who does like game reviews and funny gaming videos, said something. Said Nintendo doesn't know how to run a company. They don't know how to run online gaming, but they know how to make video games. Yeah. Yeah. Because I mean, they've achieved international acclaim. I said because they've achieved international acclaim. I said because they achieved. As I said, I'm not a gamer. All right. Well, bye, Gabe. Yep, Gabe's gonna go use the restroom. I'm gonna be here by myself again. Hey guys, welcome back to episode 0.2. It's great, here by myself. Like I said, I have a ton of stories. Like a ton. Okay? A ton of stories from my childhood because I remember a lot. So, I got another story for you if you want to hear my story. This happened a little while ago. I was still in Georgia. All right. Um, as you know, probably at this point, or have inferred, I'm a church boy, so I go to the church, and my church in Georgia at that time was really big. Like that, they had a massive dedicated building, so they had a huge uh, main room. They had a couple of side rooms. They had a lot of side rooms, hallways. There was an upstairs and a downstairs. They had a playground. They had a whole freaking playground and field. It was a big church, all right. And the youth group at that church, um, they were doing a thing. They were doing a Nerf war thing with all the kiddos because they were like, "Listen, this is gonna be fun. This is engaging." So they were gonna do a church lock-in, all-nighter Nerf war. Okay. So you know me, I'm thinking that's pretty fun. So I'm gonna go to this thing. I'm gonna do it. So I take some well-earned, hard-earned money because since I was such a young boy, all right, the amount of money that it took for me to buy this Nerf gun, all right, was very hard-earned with with birthday money because that takes a lot of work to age and get money. So I got it, all that stuff, and I was real happy. I was like, I'm gonna be ready. I'm gonna win because this church is a maze, and I'm gonna have this gun, and I'm gonna go around. I'm gonna shoot everybody. So spent that night with the gun, practicing with it with my father and my brother, getting ready for the lock-in that evening at around 6. We're practicing. We're holding putting bean bags, and we're trying to hit the bean bags. And there's the scope and all that stuff. I don't even remember, dude. I know it had you could take it apart into multiple pieces. Yeah, and then put it back on so it could be both like a sniper, like a thick pistol. Yeah. So practice with it, all that good stuff. In the okay, so that's where Gabe's on his computer now. So he's gonna be doing things while I talk. So that's all the practicing, and I think there's a certain point where me and my brother would each sit at one end of the hallway. I would sit at one end of the hallway with either the gun or not, or my brother would sit at one end of the hallway with either the gun or not. And my brother would try to shoot me in the nuts, and he was going to shoot me with a number of Nerf bullets, and it was the number of Nerf bullets that hit me in the nuts before I, decided nope and slapped my legs back together because I didn't want to feel pain anymore. That was my score.
Yeah.
We both took turns doing that to practice our aim. Yeah. It was a little strange. How strange, Gabriel. Yeah. Well, so that was what we did to practice. And then I went to this lock-in thing. It was an all-nighter, as I said. But Gabriel didn't hear that, so I'm saying it again.
Yeah.
So I was gonna be there till 6. The best thing, since this massive church was a maze, and there's like a bunch of different ways that you could get up and down the stairs, and a bunch of different hallways you could go around, and places you could hide or be in. It was gonna be epic because there was like 20 of us, each with Nerf guns full of Nerf bullets, and it was a Nerf war. We were just gonna shoot each other. That was the thing. We were gonna shoot each other. So we all got there. We all gathered together in this one room. We went, okay, it's gonna start now, and we're all just like really like full of energy. They had a bunch of like soda and like, candy and everything, and this is before I became healthy. So you know what I did? Yeah, I drank a ton of candy and ate a bunch of soda. Um, I soaked the Nerf bullets in just behind the reception desk and fired. No, that's not what I did. Uh, there's some pretty epic moments of that Nerf war. So we all start running down. We all start grabbing. I got my best buddy Stefan with me, and we're like trying to find places we're hiding, and we're gonna get them, and them. We're gonna find them. We're gonna hunt them down. This is at a church, and it's a massive church, like a maze of a church. So it's like a bunch of like little rooms and a bunch of like long, winding hallways. Yeah, sort of. Just the rooms are a lot higher and more elegant, and there's a lot of hiding places behind like couches or under chairs, or the massive like auditorium where they hold the church service was the only place we were not supposed to go to. But everything else we had free range for. So the adrenaline of being chased because someone's gonna shoot you, or like hiding Nerf stashes in certain like places in the building, and then saying, "Go to the cache, over there." Yeah, like collect the bullets. We need them. Or like they're down the stairs. We're gonna rush them. Just like running as fast as we can with like our Nerf guns, and like just trying to jam fire, like rapid fire the Nerf gun, just like pulling back and reloading as fast as you possibly can while shooting at close range, and just running and bolting.
Oh no! You don't have a launch. You had a Italian there's a yellow version of
Oh yeah, I did. I had the Nerf N Strike Elite.
Yeah.
That's what I had, because I thought that was pretty great, and it was white, so that was cool. But yeah, that's what I had. So it would jam a little bit. But I remember there's some epic moments. Like there was at one point there was a bunch of like older kids coming down the hallway, and I was running from them, and so they were like coming after me like, "There's Caleb, get him!" And all the lights are off too, so it's even better. So I run into a side room, and I'm small, so I hide underneath like a chair. So like when you have like a bunch of those like chairs lined up, like church chairs, if you know what I mean, those cliche church chairs. The ones that are made of like metal and have like a soft back, only where the butt and the back are supposed to go, and the rest of it's made of metal. You hide underneath, and they like hook together. So I hid underneath. I crawled underneath, and I was hiding there with my gun in like this back of a dark room, just waiting. And they came up, and they're like, "Where'd he go?" And they passed the room, and I just waited, and I waited, and I remember being like, trying to silence my breathing. And I crawled out and went right after them. I went right after. Usually in that situation you go away from the danger. I went towards. I had a Nerf gun up. I had
Grab some birds.
I had my pocket stuffed of bullets and gummy worms, dude. I was ready. So I popped a gummy worm in and just yeah, just went in one arm on the reload, another arm. I had like one of those like stocks that had like 18 bullets in them.
Yeah.
I was ready to go, so I ran out. I went, "Hey, you!" Well, actually, no, I didn't say that. I got as close as I could to them, as quiet as I could.
Mhm.
And then the one that was right up behind him, bam, 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 right in the back of the head. Bam, back of the head. And then they turned and went, "There he is!" And then started running after me, and I ran up the stairs. And there were a couple more epic moments, too. So there's this one podium in the downstairs of that church. This one single solitary podium. All right. And in that podium was there we had some bullets.
Mhm.
And I remember going down with me and my friend. And I think there was one of like the youth leaders who was down the hallway just like walking around by himself. Yeah, someone hit the wall. I forgot there were cameras in here.
Oh,
Anyway, so the youth leader was coming down the wall. Coming down the hall. He was not coming down the wall. That would be terrifying. That's not godly anymore. But there's the podium, and I was small. Remember, since I was in 6th grade, so I was about Jesse's height in 6th grade. Because Jesse is short. And and so I hid behind the podium. I crouched behind the podium, and I waited for the youth leader to come close. And my friend was behind the corner, adjacent to me, so I could see him. So we both like gave the nod, and then we jumped up and popped him in the chest. And he just went, because he was very surprised. And then and then we all started reloading. And we didn't know how like health would work, or if you got shot, did you have to lie down?
Mhm.
I think at some point we instigated the rule that if you got shot, you had to like lie down for 10 seconds or so. Because that made it more fun. It made it an incentive not to get shot. So I think that was pretty cool. But yeah, we finally, after all night doing this in a dark church with bullets and everything up and down the stairs and running around, eating a ton of candy, drinking soda, eating pizza, marshmallows. At a certain point, around like 3, 4 in the morning, we're all exhausted. So we go back up to the main room and start watching like a Captain America Civil War. And I was like, cool, it's a big boy movie. I tried to stay awake watching it, and I kept trying. I kept eating like food and like, sugar to keep me awake. I kept like trying to laugh, and already people were crashing. But I stayed awake till 6 a.m. Then I went home, and at that point I fell on the couch and fell immediately asleep till 9. Yeah, no, like I laid on the couch and I was like, wow, that was fun. And then I closed my eyes. Not lay down, I closed my eyes for a little bit, opened them, and then my mom went, "Oh, so you're awake? What time is it?" 9. You slept for 3 hours. Oh, what?
Oh no.
Yeah, I got a lot of stories from my young childhood. Well, I got so many stories to share, dude.
I'm just trying to talk about this episode.
Well, Gabriel, maybe I got some more topics for the next episode that I think we could do. We could talk about elaborate. And guess what? Time code. Time code is 1 hour and 4 minutes. So I think we should probably wrap this up. So, you know where to find us. We've begun putting ourselves on Hyperdrive TV's channel. We're going to rebrand, reform that. We're gonna potentially do some sketches. You know, uh, Jesse will have an animated video of the podcast episode put on there, and well, I think so at least. We'll see how it turns out. If it doesn't happen, I can't say I didn't tell you. Gabe will continue staring at his screen, PTSDing about screenagers and lackeys with logs. Cyrano reference. Um, and that I think will be the episode for the Not Funny podcast because this isn't funny. And if you thought it was funny, yeah, I don't know how you think this is funny at all. Well, on that note, goodbye.